Summoned is the Mega Good Level 4 entry created by me and Faralicious, and it received 9th place out of 33 entries. We did very well, all things considered, though some people, including Raocow, were a bit confused about the story.
I think the story is really funny, just by how seriously it takes itself. I cannot tell if it's meant to be taken at face value, or it is supposed to just be like, if you're supposed to just enjoy its nature. But they're really going all out. Like, I love it.
So I figure it'd be fun to sort of explain my interpretation of the plot, since I wasn't the main writer of it. I do have an underground understanding of the plot, however, but to make things interesting, I won't be revealing any details about the changes being made for the upcoming Summoned Chapter 1. I won't be bringing up details in the game, as well as the stuff that we revealed during various live streams before Raocow's inevitable Let's Play released. Well, let's begin. There is this family of very wealthy toads known as the Toenberg family. They live in an area that is far from any kingdom you might know. The members are the adopted Torvast, the Faragania-infected Bazin, and the armored Tramius. His goal is to have a suit of armor be built to physically touch Bazin, whom is born with a disease that permanently covers her in fire. With this suit, they will finally be able to embrace each other. Torvast is the child they adopted, since they themselves cannot have children of their own, for obvious reasons. They are the antagonists. One servant of the Toenberg family is named Jansen, a Galumba with a top hat and gray shoes. After being a terrible butler, Tramius finally had it with him. He took Jensen's eye as a punishment. This eye Tramius ripped out was sold for 300 coins. Jensen ran to the forest, with Torvast not far behind. Jensen swears on revenge on the entire family, threatening to summon a demon to assassin them. It wasn't too long after that Jensen enters a cave with all the equipment needed to summon this figure. He attempted the ritual and succeeded in bringing a demon from the underworld. It is a Yoshi demon named Zaken.
I already don't like you.
Jensen explains to Zaken his reasons and his request to kill the Toenbergs for what they'd done to him. While Zaken thinks this is all pretty stupid, he abides to his summoner since it is his job to satisfy the customer. Why he doesn't intentionally fail to take Jensen's soul is because if he doesn't, he won't be paid, and a soul is a safe way to still make some money in hell. Zaken is the protagonist, and thus the player character. If you have Zaken change his mind, he'll return to the cave to give his work to another demon. This demon is known as Demon Bolts, who is this universe's variant of Jinkerbolts. To quickly explain, Jinkerbolts is one of the main antagonists from my own series of Mario hacks, but he's not the same character. Demon Bolts is a high-class demon who handles entirely different contracts. Instead of souls for failure, it's subjects for his experiments. So Demon Bolts leaves and is fated to succeed in taking Jensen to hell. But we know good guy Zaken won't put Jensen in such a fate. The first of the Toenbergs the demon comes across is Torvast, the one who is adopted. This shows one of the few hidden sides of Zaken, in that he questions the vagueness of the request. Did Jensen mean to kill all the Toenbergs? As in, all of those who are a part of the family? Or by blood? Zaken and Torvast have a race after a bit of an exchange about Jensen's past. Zaken, as the trained demon, wipes the floor of his opponent. Torvast is spared. For now. Grano Forest is the next location, and it's being burnt to ash because of Bazin's mining of vibranium, a high-value metal only found in the grounds of this forest. Zaken shows another side. He finds disgust in the fact that this forest is being burnt down for something so selfish. Despite being from hell, he hates the smoke covering the skies. Zaken arrives at the location of Bazin Toenberg, to which she reveals her plans to be with Tramius. They fight, she's beaten, and she burns up so much from her injuries that she becomes nothing but ash. crash! Zaken somehow recognizes Basin from some time ago. Ooh. Zaken arrives in the Tonberg mansion, where he has to storm 4 rooms of ghosts. Specifically, the ghosts of Tramius' victims who died young from child labor. However, the souls of these children do not move on, because they never succeed in their work. The only thing they know that will make them move on. So when Zaken, a demon, arrives, they take out their anger on him. Of course, Zaken doesn't get scratched and makes it to the hallway of seats. Tramius greets Zaken with his barely understandable speech patterns. He's so rich that he thinks he's super smart and speaks loud and proud. As it turns out, Tramius isn't exactly the nicest person around, even not giving a damn if his own adopted son dies.
Excuse me? Wow. What a dick.
After all, Torvas is not his son by blood, and goodness, does he look scrawny and sickly. Zaken is thankful he doesn't have to kill a kid, but still has a job to do, to slay the Vibranium Breaker Tramius. However, Tramius makes a good note that because Jensen is technically owned by him, that means he owns Zaken. That's stupid, so Zaken still proceeds in the slaughter. Despite a great effort made, Tramius loses to Zaken. He learns Zaken's name, and swears that he'll slay him in hell. This demon gives Tramius a very fitting death, taking a piece of the Vibranium Breaker and stake him through the heart with it.
Another job done. When will it end?
Zaken walks back with meaningless words above him. Did he do the right thing? Was this worth it? Perhaps he'll never know. At the beginning of the game, if you went up the first cliff of the first area, there is this character near a campfire known as Kristen. He seems to know Zaken's history a fair deal. In fact, Kristen seems like a character who Zaken helped somehow, which greatly affected their relationship. Perhaps Zaken got betrayed. I see these events taking place here since you're more likely to find this conversation after the game is over. Zaken returns to the cave, requesting Jensen to never summon him or another demon again. Jensen takes his leave and walks off with a smile. Moments pass, and now the lonely Torvast finds a new home with a local Koopa character simply known as Peter. Peter is a character from another contest entry called Mario Spike Trek, though it's not directly connected to this continuity. This Peter is a lot more caring about protecting others from harm, whereas the old one was a very sketchy smoker who wanted to fly in more ways than one. Oh, and he's also just a great character to put in memes.
Peter, what are you doing? Crack? What the fuck?
We have one last scene, with Jensen wearing the Vibranium Breaker. As it turns out, he had an ulterior motive beyond just pure revenge. He was after the suit. Yeah, no, losing an eye and just killing the guy? That's not enough. He wanted to steal the very thing this family worked for. Well, why not, right? There's nothing stopping him now that Zaken did his dirty work. And thus, ending why. Jensen, why? Now there is one scene that's pretty much hidden if you don't know how to find it. See, when you die in the forest, sometimes the real Jinkerbolts appears, for seemingly no reason. As it turns out, if you cross the yellow pipe and die, he appears. But you could actually trek backwards and he'll be there waiting. If you interact with Jinkerbolts, it turns out he's from another universe, and that no two of the same character shall exist in the same timeline. See, Jinkerbolts is one of the few characters of mine that gets into many projects as a cameo. So, there's an inside joke where Jinkerbolts is in every universe. Multiple variants of him. However, it is potentially possible that one of these variants from a different project actually figured out how to cross the multiverse, if not the Jinkerbolts from the main timeline. Had it not been for Zaken, he'd roam free, traveling from one universe to another. Of course, you are also greeted by this Peach lookalike, who doesn't have a name, but is seemingly the one keeping the multiverse in check. As some of you may know, Zaken has also appeared in my series. Twice, actually. This is kind of a similar case with Jingerbolts in that this is not the same Zaken in either Tomorrow Challenges or Crack's Cafe, because they kicked me out. The events of Summoned are not connected to my own series of Mario Road hacks called The Mushroom Kingdom Beyond the Worlds. There's no historical event in my series where Demon Yoshi takes out a family of rich toads, especially when Demon Bolts already exists. This Zaken is on Yoshi's Island, an island that's home of the Yoshis, so, you know, he's pretty much chilling with his kind. There's really not much to go off of that. However, this Zaken is an illusion brought by Crack's Cafe's main villain, Kron, and the power of reality projection. That means this Zaken is actually someone else entirely. And that is Summoned's timeline and characters explained. Yeah, it's not super deep. The really detailed stuff revolves around the slightly unexplained demon contracts and how they work, as well as the Jingerbolts Easter egg that most people haven't really found, so like, who cares? Well, I mean, if this video is helpful in understanding this game's plot, I'm happy to be of service. We do plan on changing things up a bit for the revised version of Summoned, even blending 2 chapters that take place after the events of the contest entry. For now, this is Daizo Divan. It's never goodbye, it's always a see you later. To which she reveals her plan to be with Torvast. Damn, that's, I mean, like, she's the mother again? Yeah, anyway. And the Powerdy, what the fuck?